at this time when Eileen overheard the Kris and Lisanne speaking about the Pianista Trail, from that on, really one crazy incident after another happened. So I could just start with one
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
please.
the crazy thing is that Eileen, the volunteer, the German volunteer, told the police that they last saw Kris and Lisanne at 1 p.m. at the school. Yeah,
Mm,
this is what another school employee also said. And then we have a taxi driver who said that close after 1 p.m. He collect Kris and Lisanne and brought them to the Pianista Trail. And then we have at least 11 witness who saw Kris and Lisanne, or who saw Kris and Lisanne at the Pianista Trail or around it. So, and what's the crazy thing is that all these witnesses, 14, 15 witnesses, must have must um, be wrong. Yeah,
mm,
must be wrong
yeah.
because when the rucksack was found and the camera in it showed that Kris and Lisanne started their hike at 11 in the morning.
Mm.
So, and they weren't, they still were behind the mountain when all the witnesses saw them. And this is not the only thing. All witnesses
So you
saw
had
them,
14 people saying that they
14
saw
people,
Kris and
14
Lisanne at
people.
1
Yeah,
PM,
and
and they
it's
started at 11,
and it's
according to the phone.
yeah, and it's chronological, starting at the school with Eileen, the taxi driver, and then the way to Pianista and the Pianista until the top. They have been seen by 14 people, but in other clothes,
Yeah, that's the
not the
second
clothes,
thing,
not the clothes they are wearing on the pictures.
which is very
Mm,
So
weird because they all the witnesses they describe more or less the same clothes, black
yeah,
and white, and then once the camera was found, pictures show that they wore very colorful clothes.
yeah,
mm.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
another mystery in that case.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
actually
on the
have, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. On the other side, you have to say that no, not a single witness saw them on the right time and the right clothes. So it's
Yeah.
14 to nil.
It very,
Um,
very strange. I
very,
actually I pulled an excerpt from your book about the clothing because, obviously it's a very, it's mysterious, and you write that particularly strange is that the clothes worn by the women were seen by the witnesses, sorry, the particularly strange is that the clothes worn by the women who were seen by the witnesses are very different from those worn by Kris and Lisanne and the pictures taken by their camera. It just doesn't make sense that these descriptions are so different, especially considering that the women described are seen so often. The girls' clothing in the photos is one of the great mysteries. The eyewitnesses who claim to have seen Kris and Lisanne several hours later described them in completely different outfits. General details such as age, height, skin, and hair match pretty closely, but no witness ever saw the girls in their clothes from April 1st. The
yeah,
red and white striped shirt and the
yeah,
tight light blue jeans, as well as the turquoise shirt and dark shorts.
yeah, yeah,
Instead, there's talk of black and white tops, cream colored
yeah,
shorts, black skin tight 3/4 trousers. The latter in particular appears to have been unusual at the scene and is described by these witnesses. What do you make of that? Because it's, either, I mean, obviously, I'm going on much less, details of the case because I haven't done nearly as much research as the two of you. But to me, it seems like either 14 people are in on something where they're being told what to say, or something with the timing on the camera
yeah,
was messed with to where the 14 people are telling the truth. It's just that the time doesn't match up, and maybe photos were altered in some way. What do you think of that now, looking back on all the research you've done?
Yeah, I can tell you my opinion. Yeah, there are many theories about. There are, of course, um, often people who then said, okay, the camera must be manipulated, yeah, to hide a crime or something like that. Um, what I think is, and Annette thinks that too, that it's nearly impossible that Kris and Lisanne would have been seen by nobody if they went the official route. So no taxi driver, they're not seen in the town, they're not seen at the trail, and they have to walk next to the houses of people who living at the trail.
Mm,
Yeah, and nobody saw them, and they started their pictures right after the residence houses were. There's a
mm,
place, a Pianista Bridge, and this is a place um, where you can get to without walking the official part. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So every tourist normally walks the one route. This is the official part starting, and there's a Il Pianista restaurant, and there are people living there, and these people living very close to the trail, a few meters, and um, the chance that nobody sees them there, the dogs bark and stuff like that is very low. But my conclusion or our conclusion is that probably Kris and Lisanne were driven by a vehicle to the
Mm,
trail. Um, there's a more or less secret path
Well,
on the right
it's
side.
not a secret path.
It's not, yeah, it's not
It's the
secret.
street of a
It leads
company.
it leads to it leads to a
It's
dairy
a
farm.
private because it's a company street. It's so
Yeah,
usually you
but
cannot go.
theory exists that they could have been brought to the trail by a vehicle and left out behind the resistance. So
mm.
that would explain for me that nobody had seen them.